This is CBS.
Election Day 1990 is almost over. Votes are still being counted.
There have been some close races. There have been some not so close races. We'll have the latest results on statewide and local races next on News Center 19.
Hi, everybody. I'm Harold Bryant. Be sure to join us every Friday night at 10 for Football Friday, Sports Center 19 super coverage of the Tennessee Valley's high school football battles. We'll bring you highlights like no other sports team in the Valley, using WZYP's Commander Dave and his Football Friday chopper. Veterans Steve Johnson and John Lancaster will be live in our newsroom with the up-to-the-minute scores. And Alpha Tiger will be traveling from one end of the Valley to the other due to the kids' hits, tears, and cheers. Football Friday on Sports Center 19. If you're a high school football fan, don't miss it.
Live from WHNT, Channel 19, the news leader in the Tennessee Valley. This is News Center 19.
Good evening and welcome to the election night edition of News Center 19 at 10. I'm Jerry Hayes.
And I'm Kris Hall. The numbers continue to mount in the governor's race here in Alabama. Let's take a look at some of those numbers right now. Incumbent Governor Guy Hunt right now leads with 51% of the vote to Paul Hubbard's 49%. That is with 71% of those precincts being counted at this point.
Only about 18,500 votes separating those two at this
narrow margin.
Of course, Paul Hubbard had hoped to have it all wrapped up by 10 o'clock. He thought the election would have been decided by 10 o'clock. So far it hasn't, at least not in his favor. So we're going to stay tuned and see what happens statewide. And of course, we'll be checking in with Montgomery in just a few minutes. Now, taking a look at some of the other races around the state of Alabama today, Lieutenant Governor Jim Folsom wins easy re-election against Republican challenger Bob McKee.
Two-term Senator Howell Heflin is heading back to Washington for another 6 years, beating Republican Bill Cabaniss 61% to Cabaniss' 39%.
Now, the other expected close statewide race tonight between Democrat Jimmy Evans and Republican challenger Spencer Backus. They were running for Attorney General for the state of Alabama, and Jimmy Evans with a commanding lead, 67% to Backus' 33%.
Republican incumbent Perry Hand, it appears, or I guess we're going to go to the U.S. 5th District right now, and it looks like Bud Kramer is our new congressman-elect with 68% to Albert McDonald's 32%.
And turning our attention now to some of the other races that were decided statewide today. We do know, or I can go ahead and tell you right now, that Billy Joe Camp is leading Perry Hand in the race for Secretary of State here in Alabama. We're going to be checking in just a few moments, going live to Montgomery to check in with Karen Tarica. But, of course, the big story is down in Montgomery tonight. With still such a tight race between Guy Hunt and Democratic challenger Paul Hubbard.
Paul Hubbard, right. And, you know, we did have discussions with them. The vote it would widen and then narrow. And so both camps right now at this point still hopeful.
Hubbard had said last night, told Joe Vallely, that he thought it would be at least a 4-point race in his favor. Guy Hunt said he thought the margin would be a little bit bigger, 57 to 43%. But as we saw a moment ago, right now Guy Hunt with 51% of the vote and Paul Hubbard with 49%. So it has turned out to be quite a close race, and I think a lot closer than other people thought there was going to be.
Well, right now we want to go live to Montgomery, where Karen Tarica is standing by at the Paul Hubbard camp to see how things are going there. Karen?
Close, and as it is proven to be. A little while ago we came and we went on live and we told you people were on the edge of their seats. They were standing up and cheering because the margin had narrowed just a little bit. Things are a little bit more subdued right now as they see the gap opening up a little bit, Hunt leading a little bit more. So people are quite disappointed and very subdued right now.
Karen, are people still there a little optimistic, or are they holding out, holding on to a little hope?
They're trying to be optimistic. It's difficult watching these numbers fluctuate so and the margin getting a little bit bigger. But for the most part, everyone is pretty optimistic and very hopeful. We spoke with Paul Hubbard's press secretary a little while ago. He had spoken with Paul Hubbard. Paul Hubbard also saying he was very optimistic even as the numbers continue to change as they are. And of course, he'll be coming over here, win or lose, either way. In just a little while, he should be headed this way to talk to us, and we'll, of course, be telling you what he has to say in either case.
Okay, thank you, Karen. We'll be checking back with you a little bit later, I'm sure, in the newscast. That's Karen Tarica reporting live from Paul Hubbard's campaign headquarters down in Montgomery.
Right now, we want to review the numbers of that 5th District congressional race with Bud Kramer and Republican Albert McDonald. As you can see, Bud Kramer, Congressman-elect, with 68% of that vote over Albert McDonald's 32%. That's with the majority, 68% of the precincts counted.
And right now, we're going to be going live to Bud Kramer's headquarters. Brian McGruder is standing by live with him. He's already talked to him several times tonight, and I guess they're still partying over there, aren't they, Brian?
Well, the party's starting to break up, Jerry. It's getting a little late, and it is a work night, and folks have to get to work tomorrow. But Bud Kramer has already given an acceptance speech and has spoken to his defeated Republican challenger, Al McDonald. What did he tell you over the phone?
Well, he congratulated me and the people that work for the campaign for having run a clean, professional race, said that his staffers had complimented us as well, and I return the compliment because I think we both did run a clean race. We kept our issues to ourselves and not picking at one another, and that's the way politics should be this day and time.
Tell me some of the logistics involved in taking over for Ronnie Flippo, the incumbent who vacated the seat.
Well, I'll start the transition in the next few days, in the next few weeks. There will be an official orientation for new members of Congress that will start the end of this month and continue into December. But I hope to make some rounds in Washington. Ronnie Flippo has offered me an open-door policy to making this transition. I really appreciate that. Of course, I've got some things to wind down in the DA's office as well, so I've got my work cut out for me.
Tell me how physically draining this campaign has been.
Unless you've been through it, it would be hard for me to describe to somebody. There were times we were out there morning, noon, and night in the hot summer, and then as the weather turned in the fall, it is a tough race to have to run.
A hard-earned victory for Bud Kramer, who won handily by a 2-1 margin over Republican Al McDonald tonight, Jerry and Chris.
Team's Brian McGruder reporting live with Bud Kramer over at Kramer headquarters.
Well, a lot of heated interest tonight in a couple of issues, hot names in the Huntsville and Madison County area.
Now, city-county vote to abolish planning and police jurisdiction surrounding cities, and here's the latest vote we have on that, with 36% of the totals counted so far, 61% yes, and 39% for no. Now, if yes stands up, they would be abolished. If the no comes up from behind and wins, they would remain as they are, as the same, but right now they would be abolished if the vote holds as it is.
Madison County School District voters had to decide on raising the property tax. Right now, the against votes are leading 58% to the for votes, 42%. Now, if yes passes, it would raise the taxes, and if no, that means no increase.
That's a two-part question, and the county school district ordered on the ballot at the very last minute, and that is to recommend a change in the method of selecting the school superintendent to electing him or her. Both issues had to pass. And there you see no has the lead right now with 68%, yes 32%.
Well, a controversy that's been going on for several years may have been settled by the voters today. The News Center Sandra Mitchell is standing by in the newsroom and joins us with reaction to the police jurisdiction vote. Sandra?
Well, Jerry and Chris, it appears residents in rural Madison County will get what they ask for. Coming up, the scene at the Harvest House in Madison tonight, where members of the group Impact are celebrating a victory. Indeed, a happy group. For months, they've been rallying to be cut from Huntsville City jurisdiction. They say they've been victims of taxation without representation, and it appears after this election that will change.
I think we're trying to reestablish democracy, and I don't think we're trying to say anything or make any great point. I think it's all been a real heartfelt battle to really establish democracy, and I think that's what everybody here feels.
An interesting note, Jerry and Chris, the Huntsville City Council earlier tonight announced they will continue police and fire protection in the rural areas of Madison County, at least until they can safely transfer that to the proper authority. So once again, a victory for the members of the group Impact, as the police jurisdiction apparently voted out and abolished tonight.
All right, thank you, Sandy. That's Sandra Mitchell reporting live now from our newsroom.
There's still a lot of numbers to digest tonight.
And we've barely scratched the surface.
Stay with us, and we'll check on all the county races across North Alabama.
One at a time, please.
Warning, never put anything made of metal in your microwave.
Hot metal? Need new housewares? Come to Hills Housewares Fair. Hills, we're the store for great family values.
The violence.
Ain't nobody trying to get killed or nothing, but you know everybody gonna protect themselves.
The weapons.
Justice, knives, whatever it takes to hurt.
The deaths.
I hate to see somebody innocent get killed.
It's one of the most severe problems facing our city and our youth. Street gangs, and they are here. April Thompson goes behind the scenes for a close-up look at the problem. Inside Street Gang starts November 7th at 6, only on News Center 19.
There is an easier way to fix your car. Get a Civic 4-door from Honda.
Damson, Decatur, Florence, your North Alabama Honda Dealers Association.
In individual county races in North Alabama, we start in Madison County.
For County District Court Judge Place 1, Hartwell Lutz is leading Kenneth Taylor 55% to 45%, with 39% of those precincts being counted. And the new judgeship District 3 has Democrat Laura Jo Hamilton leading. Evans Ham, he's an Huntsville attorney, 59% to 41%. That is also with 39% of the precincts being counted.
Madison County Sheriff Joe Patterson is back for another term tonight, beating Deputy Harold Green. Patterson getting 60% of the vote. Incumbent tax assessor Waylon Cooley is beating newcomer Jeannie Weaver. Cooley with 59% of the vote for 41% for Weaver.